The Match Ball.
Oh, hello, welcome to the Match Ball. Dan here, along with Michael and Rob, as we pick apart that the 2-2 draw at Old Trafford. Gentlemen, how you feeling about that? That was a little bit harem scarum, wasn't it? Exciting.
Head's going to burst. One of those ones. It was better than expected, I suppose.
Yeah.
You can't help but feel a bit disappointed, can you?
No.
But equally,
Under the circumstances, it was proper backs to the wall stuff.
I
And look, I've
suppose-
got a pile of paracetamol here in my hands.
I suppose we didn't have any shots outside of the first minute, did we?
It was nearly the Scoobs master plan. We did hit the post in the second half,
Oh,
which
we
I
did,
forgot
didn't we?
about.
Of course,
But, I sort of feel like I can't really remember what's gone on. You were all stressing. I was kind of calm at 1-0 because I just thought, well, of course, we'll just throw this away in the last 10 minutes, presumably. And then, once we went 2-0 up, it was like, oh no, we've got something to throw away now, I guess.
That's exactly when my stress level started to climb at 2-0.
And then once they made it 2-1, you did
Like,
kind of think, right. Okay.
God.
But, these things happen, don't they? I'm kind of all right with it because it's a point more than I expected. And I think ultimately it was probably about a fair result on the balance of the game. I mean, I'm sure Man United fans will suggest that they should have won it.
Yeah, but they're wrong.
But they are wrong. They are wrong. And their filthy players did not deserve it.
Garnacho being a particular favourite of yours.
How many times did he dive with absolutely zero contact in that half? Well, I think he did 3 in the first half and 1 in the second half.
Yeah.
Poor old Willie Nonto was furious.
It's his face, though, isn't it?
Yeah, they've got some. I said this during the preview. I said they've got loads of scum-faced players now. I'd completely ignored Martinez, but yeah, Garnacho's got one too. Obviously, Fernandez. So yeah, they're getting back to the hateable best.
Oh, my temperature's all gone up. I'm all flustered. I think Twitter's back on now because Twitter's just fallen over. I think the world couldn't cope with whatever's just happened. Just happened. Let me if I can log back in again and see what people are saying. 'Cause I want to see what Scoobs has got to say.
Our new boss.
Yeah.
Give it to Scoobs.
Till the end of the season.
Still not letting me log in.
I did notice there was. It kept cutting to them on the sideline, didn't it? And it was always Scoobs and Armas and what's his name, Cockbiter. Gallardo. He was just always
Cockbiter.
He was always just stood in the middle, not speaking.
Did you notice Scoobs was holding onto that piece of card which he'd laminated, and it had like a pitch on it, I think like a formation, but then on the back he'd written down in a black marker 3 words, but I couldn't make out what his 3 principles are.
Was it like Neil Warnock, rash?
Kick it hard. I've been onto him this week, and that's what Nonto did.
Yeah, it's just I've been asked in the comments I'm having a hot flush. I think I am. Might be menopausal. Could be that. I don't know. That was quite strange. I mean, I missed the opening goal because I was in Aldi buying dog food.
You absolute idiot.
I realised on my way here that we didn't have any, so I had to stop at Aldi, and I think it was in Bramley.
What
to
a
get
fool.
some.
And you didn't watch the last 15 minutes either. You sat in a toilet by yourself.
Yeah, and we should say as well,
The least successful cottager in the world, sat in an empty office cubicle.
in the dark as well, because the lights here in the toilets are on timers, aren't they? On sensors.
What a bleak picture you just painted.
Sat in a darkened toilet cubicle.
Dan Moylan, the lonely cottager.
But that was nice. That was a good start, wasn't it?
It was a brilliant start. It's such a good finish. Like the choice of shot as well, because we're saying the way it's on De Gea's blind side because there's players running across, and he does once again, just goes to show, kicking it really hard.
Yeah.
Because that's why it went in.
He's got a dead good way of doing it, hasn't he, as Willie Nonto? Like, kicking it dead hard, as you say, but he tends to put it, like, at the near post quite a lot.
Nice and low.
And does it early, yeah.
I've seen the contrast of, he's like the reverse click, isn't he? He was used to go top corner from the top far corner, Nonto near post in there.
It was a bit ironic. It was kind of the textbook Jesse Marsh goal, winning the ball high up the field, driving towards the goal. The goal's not at the corner flag, and Nonto bouncing it off Bamford. It was a brilliant start. He's so good. We were kind of laughing during parts of that game, just going, isn't he good?
He's just great.
Like, there was that moment when I think it was Adams who played the crossfield pass, and it's coming over Nonto's shoulder, and he just uses his arse to shove the fullback out of the way and heads it back over whoever the other defender was.
He heads it back to himself, though, doesn't he? That's the thing.
And he just makes it look easy, and he's calm while he's doing it. Like, yeah, of course I've just done that. What are you even bothered about?
Oh, he's lovely, isn't he?
Yeah.
Isn't he just great?
He's an unbelievable find.
Fabulous human. I'm glad we've got him. I'm glad he's ours. Even though all the commentators are trying to sell him all the time. But so yeah, right, okay. With regards to Marsh, What was different tonight and what was the same? And I know this is an area that we're probably really uncomfortable with.
I don't think he was radically different. I did notice when we were attacking, we looked a bit more spread out. I think we did look like more when we attacked, we had kind of 3 or 4 players spread across the pitch as opposed to all quickly closing down the man with the ball, which is how it sometimes appears. We're doing like a reverse gegenpressing ourselves in possession is what we sometimes appear to have done. So
Gegenpressing ourselves.
I did think we looked a bit more spread out.
Likewise, I felt, not to go Paul Hecky, but we outball. I thought we seemed to kind of just hold our shape a bit more. There was less of looking at it going, well, why are our fullbacks not there? But then I don't know if that is partly just because we got an early goal and then you can kind of sit back a little bit. And especially then when you go 2-0 up from an own goal, they did really sit in then. But that was almost like a blessing and a curse, I feel like. 'Cause it was just all, once we went 2-0 up, we just didn't have the ball then because a lot of it was kind of clear the ball, keep it away from our goal. And then it just kept coming
We've been
back.
better this season, though, without ball, as Eki would say.
I think them having all the possession as well meant we didn't get out of shape as much because we didn't try to attack in the same way. So we didn't have the thing where a fullback is massively out of position. I think Luke Ayling did it once actually towards the end when he went forward, and then he got back, and by the time he got to Sancho, his legs had stopped working entirely, and it was just like
he just suddenly looked a bit pissed at one
he
point.
just fell over. He was like, "Oh, every muscle's done."
Structure.
It was brilliant tonight. There was Ayling.
Structure is. I'm just looking at now. Twitter's just come back up. Adam Pope. First word of his tweet is structure, belief, and all-round superb effort to take a point. And he's made a good point there. Wouldn't have begrudged Leeds all 3 at all, but they're going to feel the same as well, aren't they? Because they got back level and had all the play. Just
I look at. I mean, I know. In a week of just defending Jesse Marsh on XG, where it was 2.91 to 0.61 was that game. So whatever.
But,
they got them all by cheating, all those XGs.
You were just talking about how great Luke Ayling is. We need to talk more about that because he was brilliant. That first half in particular against the little cheat Garnacho, just doing all the basics really well, just being a proper fullback, and and it's fun to watch a player just almost be disciplined and diligent and do their job properly. And as much as we were tearing our hair out about Garnacho, there was then an Ayling flop in the first half on him, which I applauded because it was so good.
Yeah, he was shown the way by an old pro. Like, that's a free kick, dickhead. Although actually Garnacho got several for falling over. So
just before this comment goes off the top of the screen, Biggie T saying the Daily Star have said this evening, reliable news organ that it is, have said this evening that Iraola is desperate to work in the Premier League and asked Vallecano to let him leave.
Oh.
This is following up from this week from the Spanish journalist earlier on saying that he'd turn it down. So I want to keep an eye on that. I guess we can get round to all that in a bit. But
I just want Scoobs.
I was going to say we're not keeping Scoobs.
Scoobs our new hero. But I mean, there was a real sense of going into this game thinking, they've got no chance. We're going to get absolutely mullered. And we showed up tonight.
We did. No, we did. I thought everyone played well. I think there was a lot of panic towards the end.
Did we get a no manager bounce?
I suppose we get 2 new manager bounces, don't
manager, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
Gallardo
true.
as well.
And then if we get another new manager for Sunday,
we get another one then.
Bounce. 2 bounces.
Like 2 trampolines.
Yep.
But no, going back to the point, we showed up. I was really impressed with how they played tonight, and they dug in under what was difficult circumstances, given their home record.
Yeah, I think so as well. And I mean, defensively as well, we obviously had to change fairly early on as well because Marcus Rashford, everyone says, is a saint. He's tried to kill a man this evening, as far as I can tell.
Yeah, stick to feeding the poor. Stop hurting our players.
I hope Gabriel Bonlaho suggests he goes to prison along with Casemiro for that. Disgusting. But yeah, that did look. He was completely caught unawares by that shot, wasn't it? It hit him around the temple. It looked quite.
Because we all saw it. We all kind of went. Ooh. And that's when you're forgetting Sinistero went off as well.
Of course, yeah. So we had to make some changes pretty early on. And Somerville. I mean, that's his goal, isn't it?
He can have it for me, yeah.
It was going the opposite direction, of course.
Just on the new manager, no manager bounce, Joel's making a good point. If we get a new manager in every game, like rotate it around all the coaching staff, you get a constant bounce. New tactics every week.
I think now they've sacked everyone, though. There's only like 3 of them left, isn't there?
Yeah, that's true, actually. Like, Victor Orta would have a go.
Yeah.
He's desperate to have a go.
Definitely, but
red card within the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, so given the fears going into this, well impressed with that and the response to it all, and the fact that the game plan has gone out the window with 2 subs in that first 20 odd minutes. When did he go off?
Yeah. Sinistero was off 5 minutes. He went
before
off.
Before I even got here.
Yes, indeed. That's why I can't remember. Yeah, 19 minutes. Stroud got hit in the head.
I was carrying dog food,
and that meant Junior Firpo did 70 minutes too, which was
that was fun. Should we talk about Junior? Isn't he fun?
Unlucky to be booked, do you think?
I think it was. That was about as solid a yellow as you're going to get. I was well impressed with that yellow.
You got a message from our friend Wayne, didn't you? Who said he did well to prevent the try.
Yeah, he said Firpo saving a certain try. Yeah, which tickled my bones. Thank you, Wayne.
It was the right decision though, was that?
It did. It was perfect. We were cheering it on. Of well done, Junior. That's the correct.
That
thing
is the
to do.
taking one for the team.
I don't think
isn't it?
It wasn't his fault either, was it? If there was someone else had
lost
the ball and then it got him behind. They'd admittedly got him behind Firpo, but it was not his own mistake he was covering for particularly. So we'll give him that one.
Yeah,
and he did all right, I thought.
I do have a note. 57 minutes that Firpo's now pocketing Garnacho because they'd swapped wings because he was getting so outplayed by Bill Ayling. But then at 80 minutes, I think it's. The note I've got just says "not now, Firpo." Because that was after the yellow card, and then there was a strange back pass that he just sort of threw in. He got a little
through ball, yeah.
Yeah, he got a little bit panicky for 5 minutes, which just kept us on our toes.
It adds to the excitement, doesn't it, Junior Firpo? Just the concept of him.
Yeah,
you know, when you watch Junior defending when he's playing in our side, you feel alive.
Yeah, probably. Sometimes wish I wasn't. It's the only problem.
Let's talk about one of the real good points tonight. Midfield. I thought they were really impressive. The pair of them in there. The BFFs.
McKennie gave the ball away quite a bit.
Yeah, but everybody did. Everybody conceded possession tonight. I don't think you can judge any based on that. And considering that's his full debut,
yeah,
I thought it looked solid.
It didn't help us towards the end either that they've both been booked either.
Yeah,
it was,
unjustly.
I'm going to say unjustly. Yes, I can't remember them. Yeah, they're both unjust, definitely. It looked all right in that, didn't it?
But it's one area where you think I can, assuming they don't get suspended, I can trust that. They're not, we're not going to get bossed or bullied in midfield with those two because they seem to sort of feed off each other.
Maybe I don't think maybe I'm more impressed than I was with him. I thought Adams was good. I wasn't entirely sure on McKennie.
Yeah, well, it was like I was saying earlier, the athletic piece on McKennie with numbers and graphs and stuff was basically saying like he runs around a lot, but don't expect him to pass the ball. And there was a bit of that tonight where I thought he got stuck in with Adams, but then certainly as the game wore on, there were a few moments where he had the ball and he was trying to back heel and a few other bits that he was just giving the ball away cheaply, which is quite frustrating.
Don't do that.
I mean, by the end, everyone was giving it away cheaply. It was really frantic. I think there was just a panic to not lose the game in the last sort of 10 minutes in particular. Every time, because we had a few vaguely promising looking attacks, and it was always just broke down into people running into each other and rushing passes and whatnot. So I suppose it's inevitable. And as well, the team we had on at the end, the average age was ridiculously young.
And I don't think Meslier, it wasn't quite like Anfield, I didn't think, where he was making saves constantly. He did make a few saves he had to, and they were important, but it wasn't quite the heroics of Anfield, I don't think. And likewise, I was thinking how, basically when we went to Newcastle under Marsh and it was 0-0, and we kind of had a game like that where we were hanging on a bit. But I was so dismayed by that because, that's a year in the job and you're getting that. Whereas with Scoobs, he's been there a day and a half or whatever, so you sort of think, well, fair enough.
Yeah. It was a bit unfair as well how Man United took off old Big Lumpy up front because he'd been absolutely dog shit in that game and it was great. And then they put Rashford, their best player, down the middle. Scored straight away, didn't he?
Annoying that, wasn't it? Cox should have done a bit better there, but to be fair, the centre halves had, they fended off a lot and they repelled a lot. I mean, Verber in particular made about 4 goal-saving blocks, as has been pointed out by Tom Wheatley in the YouTube comments.
Yeah, he was great, wasn't he?
Yeah, I forgot to mention Levi Slisters at the start, didn't I? I just realised.
Absolute scumbag.
What an absolute arsehole I am. Show's brought to you with Levi Slisters. There's a 10%. 10%. It's not, is it? We're still on. 10% discount on your legal fees at levislisters.co.uk/the square ball. Why are they good, Michael?
Will's probably conveyancing.
Yeah. And
you could book online appointments
and do your appointments remotely as well.
That's the one.
Check it out.
That's the one.
Yeah. Where were we?
Can't remember now.
We were talking about the centre halves.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I thought that overall they both did pretty well.
And we only conceded 2 goals, which is really out of character for us.
Yeah.
Although we might have to make a change at left back now. The big sexy pirate is unconscious.
Although he was sat there looking very awake in the second half when the camera kept cutting back to the dugout.
I was a little bit surprised he started, actually. I thought maybe we'd play Firpo because he had a stinker, didn't he, against Forest. But then we've seen Firpo, so maybe they decided it was the safer option still to just go with the bigger man, because at least he gives you a bit of presence at set pieces and whatnot, I suppose, in a way that Firpo maybe doesn't.
But a good result, I think. Joe Donoghue has just tweeted out, pointing out that he's basically taken an impossible job at short notice. Took the game to the opposition, came away with a point. They'd won 13 at home consecutively before today, Man United.
Yeah.
So
the thing is, he's
done well as Scoobs.
We've got the players to hurt teams. That's the thing. I think.
Would you call them weapons?
I would not call them weapons. No, I'd call them players, footballers, men, lots of things.
Fine young men.
Not weapons. There's only one weapon. The person that I described as a weapon at Leeds United, and it was none of the players. So, we've got enough good players that we can score some goals, and maybe allowing them to play in a slightly less restricted way and restricted space is all that needs to happen.
Did you notice any difference with regards to that? Did you think it was a little bit more expansive as you can be when you're on the back foot like that?
I think it probably was. I definitely feel there was less attempt. It felt like we worked the ball wide more rather than just constantly trying to hammer it through the middle, which is what we've tended to do.
Right. Some of the things that have been mentioned in the comments, we need to talk about Martinez dragging his foot all over beautiful Patrick's face. Thanks to Brandon for reminding us here, by the way, on that one. That was a hideous assault on the man, wasn't it?
It was deliberate.
Yeah.
I'd be almost certain that was deliberate.
It's quite hard to arc your leg backwards like that.
That was the thing.
Twice.
I don't think it was massively painful or whatever, but it was clearly not a natural movement to make.
Yeah, I just sent him off. Because I'm completely unbiased, so I think he should have been sent off for that, for definite.
If you were neutral, would you have sent him off as well?
Yes.
Good. Ayling celebrating moments. Dave mentioned that as well. You know, he drew that foul outside the box in the first half, and he seemed to enjoy it.
Yeah, he did give it a big one then, didn't he? And at full time, then there was a big Luke Ayling chant from the away end when all the players went over, which was much deserved.
We thought he was going to recreate his goal as well, didn't we? At one point, where it broke to him in the exact same spot, and he hit it over the bar.
If I'm going to throw, Katie is sending us an interesting statistic that they had 23 shots to our 8, so we did better in front of goal and defended better than they did. So
we even scored from one that wasn't a shot. How good's that?
So turn that into a wanky stat beginning with X.
Yeah, we didn't have... I'm trying to think of all the chances we had. Yeah, Aronson hit the post when the wall parted for him, which was good.
Yeah, that was good. Early on, there was a few sort of half chances where Harrison got away but didn't quite pick the right pass. But there was Strauch with a header at the back post I had noted down.
Yeah.
Because, with that first sort of 10, 15 minutes were probably our brightest moment of the game, really. But yeah, it was a shame it kept Harrison just couldn't quite find the pass, because a lot of the time he'd do nice work with a nice touch and a trick to get away, but then the attacks would just break down when it came to picking a pass.
We are being asked, Paul's asking about what do we think about the return leg at Ellen Road. Are we going to save that for a separate show?
I mean, we'll reflect on it properly, and we might have another manager in charge, obviously, by then as well. Yeah,
would you want to talk a bit about that and what's happened today, or should we just stick purely to the game?
What would our chairman do?
he'd send out an ill-thought-out, badly timed tweet. I mean, that was just... It's like, you want to say to him, you don't need to do this. Putting yourself under undue pressure, right? Tweeting stuff out about... Putting an unnecessary time frame on this about the appointment, the whole white smoke thing. Didn't need to do it.
Nope.
Just stay silent. When it's done, it's done. But because the deadline that he artificially put in place had passed...
which is a really short deadline.
Yeah, people then started to think, well... Something's gone wrong. We can't get our number one target. They're now scrambling around trying to get somebody. Just none of that needed to happen.
If it had said we're going to try and get it sorted out this week, probably all right.
We're moving quickly. We want to get it done as soon as possible. Just talking general terms.
These things are complicated, but we are trying to get something. We're confident we'll get something sorted out quickly.
But I think he wants to please everybody, doesn't he? And he wants to put himself at the centre.
Really, really bad at it though. He just upsets everyone.
No one will remember this.
It was such a short deadline. He could have just let it happen, and it'd have been nice one, Andre.
The thing is, it all comes from a place where he means well. But he's just getting it so terribly wrong when you do stuff like that. Just don't say anything.
He's just trying to please people in that second, isn't he? Without any thought of in 12 hours' time, people are going to come back to this.
I was just looking 10 hours ago. He said, "I'll keep you posted, lads." I've not heard anything from him since. Disgrace.
But if someone will tweet him, and he will probably.
It was the only. It was the most predictable outcome since the bloody Cody Gakpo chase, wasn't it? That one, since he tweeted about that. Just don't do it. You don't.
Liverpool hate him, so that's good.
Yeah, well, he's made a wrong move, hasn't he? But then we got Willie Gnonto, so
we did.
I think we got the better end of that deal at 3.8 million.
I thought Rutter did all right as well, considering he was brought on when we were just completely chasing the game. I thought he did pretty well. And Aronson was better than he has been as well. Did one nice little jinking run, didn't he? Hit the post.
What did Rutter do? Because I was sort of watching it from behind my closed fingers at that point, and I then spent some time in the toilet on my own.
Truthfully, not a lot, but he held it up a few times, ran it into the corner once or twice.
He put himself about a bit, didn't he?
Yeah.
He certainly didn't look lightweight or anything like that.
Dave is asking, just return to the Radrizzani point. He says, which of us hasn't done that? Though promised a work project would be done by tomorrow morning, and then when the client didn't need it till the end of the week.
Yeah, but you're only promising one or two people. Then.
You got like 1 million followers on Twitter or whatever. Not him personally, but like the club's followers.
And also real work. No one cares about real work. Whereas football,
it's really, really important.
It depends on the work, doesn't it? If you say you're going to do some other kidney transplant by the end of the day, and then it gets to the end of the day, and they're like, "Any chance?" Like, nah, nah.
I'll get around to it eventually.
Please.
So, what were we saying?
Yeah, most jobs are pointless, aren't they? Let's face it.
Hello, welcome to the Square Ball.
None more so than these. Jorginho, sorry, we were talking about, weren't we?
Yeah, there's not much to say. He didn't. I just thought he looked a bit more fit than he did when he against Accrington. When I thought he had some nice touches against admittedly a bad team, but generally looked a little bit off the pace at points. I thought he did fairly well today when he came on. And Bamford was tired.
Yeah, Big Boy Bok Choi says he did spend most of his time in our half. Did Rutter? Rutter. Hard to score from there, which is a fair point. We were sat deep, weren't we? And all that.
And we got to see him at 9 as well, which I don't even know where he came on against Forest because we just didn't do anything with it, did he? He came on in the middle against Forest. Is all I can say.
With everybody else,
who knows where exactly he was meant to be as part of that conga line that goes down the middle? But no, he was. We got to see him at 9, didn't we? After Pat went off.
Emma's asking an interesting question here. Does anyone else wish that would be okay with slowing things down a bit and playing for a draw? I don't know. I mean, I do worry a bit when we're in possession. Or I've done this season. We've not looked great, have we? So there's a lot to be said for playing on the counter the way that we are.
I mean, a 2-0 lead it's not really suitable for Jesse's tactics. Not in a league when you're against good teams, because them having the ball means they probably will score. And moments of transition and stuff, if they just keep the ball, you don't get moments of transition very easily. So
it's funny, but I mean, like we could have easily lost that 4 or 5-2, but we could have also won it like 4-2, couldn't we? So if you take your chances, and if it goes the other way on another day, and all that.
Yeah, I think on reflection, I'm happy with the draw.
Yeah,
as the second went in, I was ready to cry.
Oh, it was such a. Melier obviously got a hand to it, but it came through 2 of our players, didn't it, as well? Scum's equaliser. So you thought, come on. At least make him score score a really good one. We've got Scoobs in charge. Come on.
Yeah, if you put it in the top corner from 30 yards, you'd go, well, fair enough, but that felt like a cheap one, didn't it?
There were quite a few edgy moments, though, where similar things happened that kind of were all right. There was the cross where I think it was Rashford got ahead of. There were 2 or 3 of them lined up. It was Rashford got the touch. He'd got in ahead of McKennie and Firpo at the near post, and it ended up. You couldn't really tell what had happened on the stream because it was the radio, because it was came through a group of players, and you weren't sure if it was in the net, but then it just when the other players parted as described on the radio. Melier was just there.
The visual radio.
Melier was just there. With it. The radio was buffering quite badly, and injury time as well, which was not helping my stress levels.
That was absolutely horrible.
There was a moment where I think it must have been probably.
So happens when you're listening to a station from the States or Thailand.
Yeah, probably Sancho had got it over on the left, and he was crossing it, and you could just see a man. You could see
someone was describing how there was a man free on the back post.
There was a man right at the far post.
Was there?
Apparently unmarked. This is what I was hearing, and. When the radio stream resumed,
we just had to hold that picture in our mind, didn't we?
Well, as they say, I mean, radio is theatre of the mind.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah, so that's good. Thank you for the updates on this. I'm trying to dig into the comments both on YouTube and find the intermittent stuff that's working on Twitter, because you're having to schedule tweets, I think, in order to get them to post. Most of it seems to have gone down. Well done. I mean, Space Karen's in charge there now, isn't she? So Scoobs is saying that the only prep they had was 20 minutes of shape.
20 minutes?
20 minutes of shape.
What they've been doing the rest of the time.
Feels like should have had him in a bit longer.
Well, do you not remember when he did the interview towards the back end of the week? No, a couple of days, whenever it was. When he did the interview back end of the week.
Yesterday, was it?
Yesterday.
It's been a long 24 hours, Rob. He said they only had a session.
Back end of the week, Jesse was in charge.
Yeah, lifetime ago.
Start of the week, yeah.
They only had one session that afternoon after he'd done the presser, I think he was saying. So they've only had one session where they've done stuff for this game, proper prep. So we should absolutely muller them on Sunday.
Yeah, it's true. I'd probably take another draw on Sunday, wouldn't we?
Yes.
I'd quite like 3 points.
I mean, a point is more than I expected to get out of this week. Admittedly, across the Forest game and these two, I was kind of hoping for more than that.
Right.
But, considering the way I felt on Sunday, this is a great result.
That was a lot better than I expected tonight, truth be told. Like, I thought it had kind of absolute shambolic 4 or 5-0 written all over it and just nothing working. But, I think the players and the coaches that are there deserve a lot of credit for just holding things together a little bit.
Yeah, there's that thing about, and this is not meant to be deliberately mean towards Jesse, but not having to listen to him and just having Leeds United sounding and looking differently, but it's still being Leeds United that we recognise. Do you know what I mean? Like, just not to have the same message delivered that we've had over the last year, the whole stress, clarity stuff.
Yeah.
To not hear it, but for Leeds to still be there, felt, I don't know, the sense of renewal around that.
And if we're going to, in fairness, haul all managers over the coals, we have to remember under Bielsa we went there and we've lost 6-2 and 5-1 at Old Trafford. So Scoobs better than Bielsa.
I mean, he was doing a little Bielsa impression towards the end, wasn't he? Crouching down on his haunches. It was just like having him back.
So overall, are you happy with that? Are you happy? I'm happy with that.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah,
it was quite stressful watching it.
I'm quite upset, but I'm.
Yeah. Well, I think if we stay up this season, we'll look back on this as a good point gained, and we'll go, it was a good game. Shame not to shame not to hold on, but we had to withstand a lot of pressure.
Yeah, it's just
from some dreadful
people. Oh, the worst, the very worst people. But I suppose if you're 2 up in any game into the second half, you're always disappointed, aren't you, to not win?
Yeah.
You have got to be.
I just found it so predictable, though.
Yeah,
sort of protected myself from the disappointment, I think.
Leeds have worn you down then. You've got there, Rob. Good. But no, I think a good point. I'm happy with that. And let's say if we get to the end of the season, if we stay up by a point, you look at this one and go, yeah, good point gained.
Yeah.
Let's hope we don't stay up by a point because that'd be awful. I don't want that to happen again. I'm going to go on a run now. Final thoughts on this one. Being asked, who do we fancy? Anthony's asking in the YouTube comments as boss.
Scoops.
You want Scoops?
No, I
anybody?
Truthfully, I don't really know. I'd be lying if I said I knew anything more of the managers than I've read on Twitter within the last 48 hours.
Let's get the right one.
Get a good one, yeah.
Yeah, but if it's between like Slot and I would call him Areola then. You're right, because I've read his name so many times. I keep thinking Areola. I can't now think of the Iraola, isn't it?
That's him.
Yeah, Iraola. Would you be fine with either of those?
Yeah, they both seem like they have.
What if it turned out to be like Nuno? Espirito Santo.
Yeah, I'm less enthusiastic about that. At least I know he's boring, whereas at least I can find out the others. I can find out what I don't like about their football eventually.
The Spurs model, basically, of trying to get other people and then getting Nuno at the end of it. I don't think we're not even being linked with him, are we? Particularly?
No, his odds have shortened a bit, but I don't know if that's just a reflection.
No, that's just people. Someone puts like a tenner on and it all goes wild.
So
it's fine.
Right, okay.
It's fine.
Should we go away, calm down, get some sleep, reflect on it, and come back and we'll preview the return leg sometime tomorrow, maybe Friday?
You thought Scoobs was in charge at the back end of last week, didn't you? So who knows? Who knows?
I don't know. Yeah,
who knows what day it is?
It's getting late. Let's get ourselves home. Go think about this one, and we'll talk about it more later in the week. I think. Yeah. Any final thoughts before we do head off?
Who did I hate the most? Probably Garnacho today.
Yeah, over Bruno.
Yeah, actually today he did well.
So we can file those down for villain of the week.
Real strong performance for him to get above Bruno Fernandes. I don't think Fernandes did much rolling around, did he?
Oh, you hated him all game. You were just screaming at the TV.
I was willing someone to injure him, to be honest. But
it's been going so well, Michael. Don't say anything you regret. This lives on the internet forever. Don't forget.
Come on, there's not an opposition fan in the world who doesn't want to see Bruno Fernandes get kicked.
Yeah, that's true.
Come on, it's only fair.
Yeah, we will wrap it up there then. Thank you for joining us on the live stream and listening afterwards as well. We'll have another one of these, another post-scum match ball on Sunday afternoon with another 3 points in the bag, lads.
Another 3?
Another 3 on top of the one that we got tonight, yeah.
Okay.
Which felt like 3.
Yeah.
3 was within grasp. We felt we know what 3 touches, what feels like.
That second goal was too good to be true, wasn't it, really? That was the thing.
Yeah, you don't get that at Old Trafford. You don't get away with that. Like the universe likes to balance itself up, doesn't it? The football universe.
It wasn't at all clear what had happened then, was it?
I was fully expecting a late VAR penalty for them as well. So
VAR did ruin both goals of ours, actually, because Bamford's foot was only just onside for the first, and then...
No, you ruined that first goal because you were the one shouting he's offside. And I thought, oh, is he? Oh, stop celebrating then, fine.
You, Norman!
He was fucking close, though, wasn't it, when it showed the replay?
It was a great goal
on the line.
And a good point.
And then Scum's horrible cheating players ruined the second because they were all moaning about a handball.
Good point under the circumstances. So yeah, we'll come back and do more of this in a few days' time. We'll see you in a bit.
The Match Ball.